You've heard the question a million times, right? Will AI take my job? For years, it's been this distant, hypothetical thing. Well, not anymore. With the rise of what we're calling AI agents, that question is very real, and it's happening right now. We're talking about a whole new kind of digital workforce, and believe me, it is changing the game.
I know, it sounds like something straight out of a sci-fi movie, but this is becoming our reality way faster than anyone really expected. And these new AI agents, they aren't just glorified chatbots. Nope, they're much more like digital employees, ones that can actually take on complex projects from the beginning all the way to the end.
And there it is, the billion-dollar question. The thing is, the answer isn't a simple yes or no. So in this explainer, we're going to cut through all the hype, all the fear, and really get to the bottom of what's happening. First, let's just look at the incredible promise of this new tech.
So, what can these new agents actually do? Well, the capabilities are, and I'm not exaggerating here, absolutely astonishing.
And we're not talking about some small efficiency boost, saving a few minutes here and there. We're talking about automating huge chunks of your work week, all that research, the data entry, building the presentations, and just freeing up massive amounts of your time.
But here's what's truly mind-blowing, how autonomous this whole process is. You just give the agent a single goal, one prompt, and it figures out the steps, it uses tools like a web browser all by itself, and it produces a real usable file. It's like we've finally given AI hands and legs to actually do the work.
And the range of what they can do is just incredible. I mean, from turning a messy spreadsheet into a beautiful interactive dashboard, to acting like a spy monitoring your competitors, or even building a working app prototype in just a few minutes. This is a fundamental shift, a total game changer in how work gets done.
Okay, it is so easy to get swept up in all that potential. I get it. But when you look a little closer, a much more nuanced, and honestly a much more interesting picture starts to come into focus. Because for all that incredible power, these agents, they are not perfect. Not by a long shot. In fact, their biggest weaknesses reveal exactly why having a human in the loop is more critical than it's ever been.
And this brings us to a super important idea. Instead of thinking about AI as a replacement, think of it as a force multiplier. It's absolutely brilliant at the repetitive, structured parts of a job. That first draft, crunching the numbers, and what does that do? It frees you, the human professional, to focus on the stuff that actually creates value, the strategy, the creativity, the judgment calls.
So you can see this new division of labor forming. The agents can handle all that boilerplate text, the initial summaries, the grunt work. But the humans? We provide the strategic judgment, that unique brand voice, the creativity, and the emotional intelligence that makes the work actually matter. We're complementary, not competitors.
And hey, don't just take my word for it. A pretty fascinating study from OpenAI recently put this to the test. They wanted to see if today's models could really automate the jobs of industry experts. The results were, well, let's take a look.
What the research showed is that an AI's performance really depends on the type of task. It can absolutely crush a human expert at creating structured things like PDFs and PowerPoints, but its performance takes a nosedive on more general, less defined tasks. It's not a one-size-fits-all solution.
And here is the biggest catch. The study found that 2.7% of the time, the AI made what they called catastrophic mistakes. Okay, what does that mean? Think accidentally insulting a major customer, or just completely making up critical data. Now, 2.7% might sound low, but in the real world, a mistake like that can be incredibly costly.
This whole situation reminds me of a classic real-world example. Years ago, all the experts were saying AI would replace radiologists. But you know what happened? The exact opposite. AI became this powerful new tool that made the best radiologists even better, even more valuable, and their salaries skyrocketed. The AI didn't eliminate the role, it augmented it.
So how should we be thinking about all of this? Well, there's a really useful way to frame it. It's not a simple on or off switch, right? Job or no job. It's really a spectrum. At the first level, we've got task automation. And honestly, this is where most of us are going to feel the impact first. The AI handles specific parts of your job, which changes how you work, not if you work. See, the AI isn't the new radiologist. It's the new, super powerful tool for the radiologist. Now, the next level up is role automation. This is the one that people are most afraid of. It's where technology makes an entire job pretty much obsolete. The classic example is bank tellers being replaced by ATMs. It definitely happens, but that is a very high bar for technology to clear from most professional jobs. And finally, you've got the biggest scale of change,
Industry transformation. This is when technology, like robotics and manufacturing, completely restructures an entire economic sector. It doesn't just change a few jobs, it changes supply chains, business models, everything.
So what's the key takeaway here? It's this. For the vast majority of us, the future isn't about job elimination. It's about job transformation. Your role is going to change, it's going to evolve, and you're going to incorporate AI as a powerful new tool in your toolbox.
Okay, so what does this all mean for you, personally? How do you make sure your skills stay valuable in a world that's filling up with AI agents? Well, the key is to lean into your uniquely human advantages.
These are the skills that are just incredibly difficult, if not impossible, to automate. We're talking about genuine creativity, not just remixing old ideas. That deep emotional intelligence to lead a team or comfort a client. The strategic mind to make a tough call when you don't have all the data. And of course, the ethical judgment and accountability that we demand for important decisions. These skills are becoming more valuable than ever before.
So in the end, this isn't something that's just happening to us. It's something we can actively shape and participate in. The future isn't going to belong to people who try to fight AI. It's going to belong to those who learn how to direct it. The real question, the real challenge for all of us, is to adapt, to keep learning, and to become that essential human in the loop who turns this incredible technology into incredible value.